Yeah, Manchester City released a statement around lunchtime today, the video having surfaced this morning. They say the club is aware of a video which has circulated on social media showing Phil Foden and his family being harassed and abused. We are shocked and appalled about the nature of the abuse and ensuing assault on one of Phil's family members. They go on to say we will continue to give Phil and his family all the support and assistance they need. I think, first of all, we have to say credit to Manchester City for coming out so quickly and vehemently in defence of their player. Hopefully it's changed the narrative of how this will be reported in tomorrow's newspapers. And I think that statement, for me, sums up the way that most right-minded people watching that horrible footage should be feeling this evening. It made me feel sick, to be honest, and I think it's a pretty sad reflection of where we are, not just when it comes to the tribal nature of football, but also the tribalism of society in general. And I do think our political leaders have probably got a lot to answer for when it comes to that tribalism. Maybe that's for another day. But sadly, the simple fact is there are too many morons, whether fueled by drink or whatever else they've put into their systems, who think that this type of behaviour has become acceptable. What kind of world are we living in where a young, successful England footballer can't attend a sporting event with his family without the fear of being viciously, verbally abused? What kind of world are we living in where a mum hears that vitriol directed at her son, and it's a parent's instinct, isn't it? We've all got kids.
Of course. To
defend their own, and in doing so, she ends up getting a punch in the face from a yob. And I think the most damning indictment of all of this is that this group of thugs thought it was okay, thought it would be funny to film it all and then post it on social media. I mean, how much of an imbecile do you actually have to be to put up what is effectively video evidence of you and your pals committing a crime? Do you think they would have done that if they were robbing a house or stealing a car? It's outrageous, and it's actually beggars belief in many ways. And what also saddens me, I've seen some messages, and it is a minority, from rival football fans blaming Foden for being out after they'd lost to Tottenham. Like footballers are somehow fair game. And it was the same when Jordan Pickford was abused at his local pub last week. People said, well, why is he going to his local pub? Yeah. Why shouldn't he go to his local pub?
Of course.
To anybody who seriously believes that and uses it to defend these animals, give your head a wobble. It's an absolute disgrace. And sadly, it's becoming frequent.
Do you know what it is, Crookie, as well? Is that a lot of people ask footballers to be normal. Act like the normal people, do you know what I mean? Like, don't put them on a pedestal because they're just like everybody else. But when they try and do that, like going to the boxing, these things arise, and you know full well what they're hoping for. They've got the camera phone out there before it's even started, hoping for a reaction from Phil Foden, so they can catch him and get him in trouble. But it's absolutely disgusting because, as you said there, he's walking. It looks like he's going to a box to go in there and watch.
Minding his own business.
Minding his own business, and you've got some guys. And I know how it can start. I've been there before, where you're walking somewhere and someone might say to him, "Oh, can I have a picture?" or just shout something out. You try to ignore it. It gets worse and worse and worse. And at these type of boxing events, this seems to happen an awful lot, by the way, because I know someone who was there last night, and I think Sterling was there. They were hammering abuse at him, and he managed to just walk off and let it pass. Yeah.
But why should he have to? Why should you have to tolerate that? You know, would you do that to a film star? You know, would Tom Cruise, if he'd attended the boxing, have got the same kind of abuse? Why is it seen okay to abuse footballers? Because presumably they're fans of a rival club. It's not funny, it's not big, it's not clever. And you know what? I hope that big man who threw the punch at a woman, I hope he's hauled before the courts and punished in the strongest way possible, because we need to stand up now and say this is not acceptable behaviour.
It's like you said, Crookie, footballers are expected to let it slide, and it probably was Foden was letting it slide, but you when you've got your family there, and Daz will say the same thing, and you will say the same. It's natural instinct to stick up for your son, your partner, your husband, your wife, your sister, brother, whoever it may be. For them to abuse people, knowing you're there with your family, is outrageous. And you said as well, because Manchester City lost the game, you feel you've got the right and to say that he shouldn't be there. It's his own fault. Let's put it into perspective. If there was an office worker who didn't do the deal on the day, is he then not allowed, or she not allowed to go to the boxing? I mean, it's absolutely disgusting, and yobs is the right word that you use for it, and that's exactly what it is. And I hope we see big punishment for these
Do you know what I
people.
will say? And when you look at the video, I mean, it's horrific. Someone punching his mum is that. When you look at Phil Foden, the way he conducted himself, that must have been a difficult situation because if someone hit my mum, it's a completely different story. Because I'm not reacting the same way Phil Foden
agree.
did.
I think Crookie would say the same. I will say the same. You react. Someone punches your mum. You react like.
I'm not reacting like he
and
did.
I think whoever was with Phil Foden has really got him out of harm's way there, because I think they dragged him away from the situation. But I think it would take a lot more than getting dragged away from that situation. It's absolutely. It's scumbags, and that's what they are. It's absolutely shocking behaviour from these people, and filming it, thinking it's funny.
But that's why they're filming it. They're trying to
You
catch
hear
him.
people laughing about it in the background.
He actually says at the end of the clip, I've got all this on camera.
Yeah, see?
Bully for you, mate. Hopefully that will come back and bite you in the strongest possible terms.
Darren Bent's Bookroom. Fast-paced football fallout. Every Sunday night from 5 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.